Growing up, my two sisters, brother, and I were only allowed one soda a week, typically on Saturday. We followed a strict schedule every day after school, which consisted of homework, playtime, bath, dinner, maybe 1 or 2 Disney movies if we were lucky, and then to bed by 8 o'clock. We were taught to say yes ma'am and yes sir. Lord help us if we forgot. Instead, we opted for phrases such as hush up. Now that I'm a nanny, it has come to my attention all the different ways parents are now raising their children. Children make up our future. My hopes are to better the society by bringing more awareness to how children are being raised, to create a better understanding to consequences some parents might face, and to inform society on how to avoid these. Now, I'm not a mother yet, but I've been a nanny for 3 different families for 4 years now. And they all range in different ages. One family in particular have a 4 and 2-year-old. Their parents have chosen to raise their kids particularly similar to the way I was raised, with a strict schedule, good manners, and good morals. On the other hand, I've also been a part of a family whose parents use the TV to babysit when I'm not available, because they might be too lazy. A problem with it, that is most of the time what they're watching isn't being monitored. And the same thing with the internet. What's worse is that they have to know in today's world what's going on. It's laziness, or they just could care less. Kids are getting away with cursing, and most importantly, they aren't being taught to respect their elders. The way they were raised previously has a huge effect on how they'll be as teens. The third family have kids in 2nd, 6th, and 8th grade. A couple days ago, the 6th grader was complaining how a girl in her class had a cell phone, but she wasn't allowed to get one until she was 16. It's crazy to hear her say that, even though she's only 12. Not just a phone, they are getting Facebook and MySpace. Social networks have made it so anyone can sign up. I bet most of the parents don't even know. By the time their child reaches high school, they've probably heard and seen everything. Kids who have been given that much freedom at such a young age are going to be irresponsible and immature. From my experience, I feel that most of the kids who get into trouble at such a young age are the ones who were neglected as children. If you don't set standards and use proper discipline, you may one day face dealing with a troubled teen. A child's biggest teacher growing up is their parents. Everything we do will reflect on them. Having more awareness, understanding, and learning ways to avoid tough situations will help drastically in building a better family. I think I have a good idea of how I want to raise my kids based on my experiences growing up. And hopefully, when all is said and done, they will appreciate me as much as I do to my family.
When you got it?
Recently, I decided that becoming a teacher would be the best career path for me. Education is very important in everyone's lives, and all teachers have a huge impact on every student. Even if teaching isn't for you, it is important to know what's going on in your school's district. A couple of the changes occurring in the Duval County School District include the development of Atlantic Coast High School and the expansion of certain zoning boundaries. According to school district spokesperson Jill Johnson, she said plans to build a new high school to handle overcrowding in the fastest growing part of the county began at least 5 years ago. Construction of the $77,002,200 student capacity high school is on schedule. Some schools have an overcrowded situation. Some could use an additional students. Frankly, what we wanted to end up with is a balanced utilization enrollment. says Chief Operating Officer Doug Ayers. When Atlantic Coast High School opens in August, it will serve rising 9th grade to 11th grade. A 12th grade will be added fall of 2011. The development of a new high school would also mean zoning laws would have to be changed. Rezoning would mean some students will leave their current schools and go to another. For example, Inglewood High School will receive 672 students from Sandalwood if the lines change. It is very difficult for children who lose their social circles, said Charlotte Bergase, a mom of two. Even though her kids are zoned for Fletcher Middle School, they are not zoned for Fletcher High School, but Sandalwood. Ayers says the proposal facing the school board satisfied the majority of families and also evened out overcrowding. The public meeting was held at 6 p.m. at the Duval County Public Schools Administration Building, and the board took comments from parents for 2 hours before voting. Every district is always changing. For Jacksonville, being such a huge city, it is impossible to please everyone, especially when it comes down to what high school your child will be attending. With some schools being overcrowded, it is important to turn to the zoning boundaries to try and find solutions. Even though some parents may even be less satisfied, at least the committee is aware of the situation and the complaints that are being brought to.